guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Classy Kiki here with another video. I know it has been like forever since I last loaded a video, but I'm trying to get better, get more focus, stay on my goal, you know, put out more content, so just bear with me. So today I will be talking to you guys on basically my journey of like motherhood, miscarriages, things of that nature, and then my journey that I'm now on trying to self-heal from the inside out. So if you want to hear more about my journey, just keep watching. Okay, so today I was talking to you guys about my journey to motherhood. For anyone that has known me, they know that I've always wanted to be a mom and a wife. And unfortunately, my journey to motherhood has not been as easy as, you know, to others. But I am patient as much as I can be. I'm patient but impatient at the same time, because I'm patient and I'm still waiting, but impatient that I really want it to happen like ASAP, you know. I'm just trying to hang in there. So like I said, anyone that knows that have known me know that my ultimate goals in life was to be a mom and a wife. So I became a wife. Great, love that, you know. So next thing I'm like, hey, it's time for a baby. So my husband and I met, got married, and then we were married for about a year when I found out I was first pregnant. What happened was that before my cycles, I will always have like sore breasts and things of that nature. So I'm thinking like, oh, it's gonna come, it's coming, you know, just the sore breasts, all that, it's just normal, you know. So, and it wasn't abnormal for my cycles to be like late sometimes. Sometimes it can be like 3, 4, 5 a week, 4 or 5 days a week late. So I'm thinking nothing much of it. So my sister came to visit, and I was telling her like, hey, you know, I think I'm on my cycle in like a week, and you know, it looks like it's coming, but my boobs have been really, really sore, but a little tired, whatever. So after like 8 days, I finally decided to go buy a pregnancy test. So I just went and got I think the Dollar Tree one. Yeah, just a Dollar Tree one. And I came back. My sister and I went to the grocery store, and I think we came home. She was getting groceries, and then I went in to the pregnancy test. And oh my God, my heart like dropped. I was so happy because I could not believe that I was seeing 2 dotted lines. Like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Like, oh, this is so exciting. I was so happy. I think I ran outside. My sister came up the stairs. I jumped on her because I was so excited. Like, yes, I'm pregnant. I'm having a baby. I'm so excited. So happy. And then I was so happy that my husband, he was at work, and I could not contain my happiness. I literally called him at work on video chat, and I was like, guess what? And I showed him the test. And then he was like, what? I was like, I'm pregnant. He's like, whatever, I am. So I think after that, I went and bought like maybe like 5 more pregnancy tests. I got the ones from Walmart, Target, the clear and blue, just to make sure that it was right. Like maybe Dollar Tree wanted to talk with me, you know. So I did that. And I told my mom, some siblings, and my best friends, because I was just so excited, because at that time I was 34. So I was excited about becoming a mom. And instantly I went to like mother mode. Let's protect this baby. Let's make sure I do everything right. Make sure I'm eating right. Make sure I'm taking my prenatals, everything. Like instantly mother mode, protect that baby because it's inside of me. I gotta make sure it's gonna be okay. I pray and I talked to it like, hey, you know, just all the things I thought I was supposed to have done. So when I was to go get my first ultrasound, I called and they said that you gotta come when you're 9 weeks, I believe. So I waited maybe like 2 weeks after I found out I was pregnant. I started getting a little spotty, and I was nervous. So I went to the emergency room. They ran some tests. You can see the little fetal pole in the sac. So the baby had implanted, and I was like, okay, good, it's there, we're good. And they were saying how like it's normal to have spotting in early pregnancy, so don't be scared. But of course, when you're a first time mom or first time pregnant, everything scares you. So I got to see the ultrasound and the little sac and the little fetal pole. So I was like, yay. So doctor came in and said everything looks good. He said the heart rate was kind of faint, But he said, once they get this early, so at the time I think it was probably like maybe 6-7 weeks. He said, but it's kind of still early. So I waited another week or two to go to my next appointment. By that time, I should have been like around 8 or 9 weeks. We did the ultrasound, and then I got the fatal news that the heart had stopped at 6 weeks. And I was crushed. Like, I was crushed. To go from excitement, oh yay, first ultrasound, I get to see, well, you know, real ultrasound, I get to hear the heartbeat possibly, you know, and then to hear them dying words that, you know, the heart stopped and it had not grown. I was just devastated. I think I cried and 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 I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. So I didn't want to take her words for it. So I went to the ER the next day for another test. And when I went there, he said that they actually found a heartbeat. And they said that the baby had a heartbeat. My ACG levels had rose, and that I was having a subchondriac hematoma, basically where when the baby implanted in my uterus, the placenta, it was the implantation part, it was like blood, like was between the placenta and also my uterus. And sometimes that could cause a miscarriage, and sometimes it can go away on its own. So it could cause a miscarriage. But I was still hopeful. Like, yeah, she told me that baby heartbeat stopped. Here he told me that they found a heartbeat. So I held on to hope, you know. So then I called my OB encouraged me to go to a fertility specialist. I went to that doctor. They did another ultrasound and confirmed that the baby had the heart stopped completely, and that I was having a miscarriage. For those who don't know, a miscarriage is when your body don't detect that you're miscarrying. So you'll carry, your body don't detect it. So I think I carried for another 3 weeks before my body detected that the baby had, you know, was not viable. When I scheduled my DNC, literally I think like 3 or 4 days before the DNC is scheduled is when I finally, you know, the baby finally shed. And that was devastating. It's like going through labor pains but not giving birth. That makes sense. I was having contractions, the worst pain of my life, a lot of bleeding. Finally, the baby did pass, and I look at the little sac, you can see the little tiny arms. You can see like just a little tiny bits of what the baby was. And that was heartbreaking. And that happened, and I just cried the next few days because I was just so devastated, you know. Because when you're going through it, you feel like you're going through it by yourself. Even though there's other people who's going through it, but you just never think it will be you know. And then maybe like 3 or 4 days after that, my body was just so much pain. I was in so much pain. I could barely walk. It was just hurting. So I went back to the doctors. They couldn't figure out what the pain was coming from. They did ultrasounds to make sure there was nothing like, you know, maybe like no part of the baby left in my uterus, but they said all that had shed. So they admitted me. I was in the hospital for about 2 days and so they didn't get the pain under control. They finally got that under control, and then I went home. And then we talked about the process, the healing process. I think that was so rough, because after everything happened, you still have to go to see your OB, you know, to make sure everything's good, your body is healing. So that was the hardest part of going into the OB, the office, seeing the pregnant women, their bellies, all that, their ultrasounds, and all you're thinking is that, man, I'm here, but I lost my baby. I'm here, but my baby don't have a heartbeat. So it's just the constant turmoil between your head and your heart, and wanting to give up and not give up. It was hard. It was really hard. I didn't go to work for a while. I was depressed. I was sad, you know, but I had really good friends and family that was there for me and that stuck by me. My husband was a great, you know, support system and things of that nature. So let's fast forward. So the first baby was supposed to be due in September. I think September 12th. So literally I think the day that the first baby was supposed to be due, I found out I was pregnant again. And I was like, this must be Jehovah. This must be God, because he knows that it's going to be a hard day for me. Just thinking about how I'm supposed to be giving birth. I should have a baby right now and all that. I found out I was pregnant. So once again, I was excited. I was so happy, but at the same time, scared out my mind. Because all you thinking is that, what if it happened again? You know, what if it happened again? So you can't, people say, oh, you gotta be strong, this is not, but I was being strong at the same time. I'm like, but you can't help be strong and also think like, what if this happened again? Because you just never know. So I found out I was pregnant. Once again, took like 20 tests, no lie. I took so many tests. And I was like, okay, we're good. We got the baby. I'm gonna be a mom again. I was so happy, like, yes, God knew I couldn't take it. I'm gonna be a mom. Yes. So that happened. And I found out I was pregnant. And then maybe like a week or 2 weeks later, I started spotting again. And I'm crying, please don't let this happen again. Please don't let this be bad. Just let it be implantation. You know, they say when the baby implants in uterus, let it be implantation bleeding. Please don't make me use another baby, please. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And I talked to my baby and I said, just be strong, hang in there. And then I go to, and since I lost the first time, they consider me as high risk, so they made me come in ASAP for ultrasound. I went in for ultrasound, did the ultrasound, very to confirm pregnancy. I was pregnant. Did the ultrasound, find out they can't find the sac. They can't find the baby in the uterus. She did find something inside of my tube. So she said she don't know if it's just too early, if what she see in my left tube, if it's just a cyst, or if it was actually, that's where the egg had implanted, you know. So once again, I've been hopeful. I'm Googling everything. Please let it just be a cyst. Let it just be too early, you know. And so she said, you could be having an ectopic pregnancy. When I heard those words, my heart dropped. Cause I'm like, not again, you know. But I'm hopeful that it's just a cyst. It's not ectopic, it's just a cyst, you know. So I get home, because I went by myself at the time. And also, once again, I went through all these things with COVID. You know, at the beginning of COVID, you couldn't have nobody in the room with you and this and that. So both times, my husband could not come in for the ultrasound. Well, especially for the second one, he could not come for the ultrasound. He could come in for the appointments because it was only you. So imagine hearing the words again, and it's just you know. So I'm like, at the time I'm just so depressed. I'm like, no, not again. You know, like, why did this keep happening to me? What did I do wrong? You know. So they said they would just wait it out and see what happens. And they scheduled me for another ultrasound, maybe a week or two later. Well, I was at work one day and I was spotting a lot, so I left. I went to, and I just left. And then maybe like around 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up, I went to the bathroom, and there just a lot of blood just came out. And I'm like, no, not again, you know, like, not again. So my husband took me to the emergency room. They run tests and all those things. They said that it could I'm just having a miscarriage or whatever. So, but I had an appointment scheduled that same day with my OB for like, I think a few hours later. So they sent me home. I went to my OB a few hours later. When I get to him, at this time, I'm bleeding a lot. And I'm in his office and he's talking to me, but I'm just out of it. Like just in and out of it. I go to stand up, I'm about to pass out. So immediately he was like, that's not good. Good thing the emergency room was across the street. So he my husband just drove me across the street and taking an ambulance because it's a lot of money. So we drove across the street. He called ahead of time, said I was coming. They came in. They sent me to the, what's the name? At first I was inside the just the ER part for a while. They was giving me all types of pain pills. Like they gave me just the higher doses of pain medicine. I was in so much pain, but I was bleeding too. So they had to wait for the surgeon to come in. So when the surgeon finally got there, he's like, okay, we're going to test your ACG levels. They're dropped, but they're not dropping a lot. He said, and we kind of do see they couldn't tell if it was the baby or if it's a cyst. He said, you do have a cyst. He said, we think that we see the baby, so it may be okay. So I'm hopeful, like, okay, maybe just the cyst that just ruptured and that was it, you know. And so they kept me there for observation for a while, couldn't eat, just in case I had to have surgery. I was there for like maybe like 3-4 hours, and then they ran more tests, and then finally they came back and he's like, okay, your blood levels is dropping, so you have to have some surgery tonight. So then now that's when I knew, like, it's a lost cause. Sorry, like it's a lost cause, you know. So he's like, we need to have surgery, but we're just scared because you have scar tissue, because I already had 2 prior surgeries on my abdomen. So he was like, we're just nervous about scar tissue. So I'm like, okay. So they take me upstairs to the women's ward. The nurses, and they were so sweet, and all I did was cry, and I just kept saying, this is not right, you know. And then I remember that day 2 of the nurses were pregnant. So to be laying on that bed, losing your baby again, and you see these pregnant women, and just like, you know, and they sympathize, but it's so sad. So, I think it was like 2 in the morning when the surgery was scheduled, because they had to wait till my system clear up, and they said that, so he took me to surgery. And I remember waking up, they kind of explained to me what happened. They were going to like lasers and put holes, you know, whatever. And I remember waking up and I wasn't pregnant anymore. And so I was there for like a day. They sent me home, and then I had to go back the next day because I was in so much pain and just bleeding a lot. So they want to make sure that everything was good. And then, so I think I ended up in the hospital for about 3 days. And in my mind, I'm just thinking like, dang, I keep going through all of this. And I think it's that fight that moms get, you know, for their child. I said, damn, I'm going through all of this and I'm still not having a healthy baby, you know. So I finally got released from the hospital, and once again I was so depressed. I was so sad. And, you know, I just for a while I couldn't pray. I couldn't do it. It was just like, why does this keep happening to me? I'm a good person. I don't understand, you know. And when people kept saying, oh, it's just not your time, it's not your time, and I'm like, what do you mean? It just, you know, people say stuff to kind of make you feel better, but in reality, it don't make you feel better, you know. It's like, why is it not my time, you know? Like, why get pregnant? And just like, you don't in that time you don't understand it, because you got all these mixed emotions and you're so, you know, you just don't understand it. So I took time, and my husband was scared. I wanted to try immediately again to get pregnant again, and my husband's like, no, you should wait. We need to wait. You need to get your mind right. You need to get better mentally, physically, and all that, because it's like, once you lose, it don't make you want to wait. It make you want to have it ASAP. Like, I want it now, you know. And see, people saying wait, and it's like, but I don't want to wait. but I did understand the process of getting my body to heal, you know. So so for the next 9 months, 10 months, I started writing. Just one day I was sitting up and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just write to my baby, my unborn babies. And I started writing a poem to my babies. 1 second. So let me try to figure out a way where I can feel better, you know. Maybe it helps to get it out there, because you try to talk to people, you really can't talk, you know, because you feel like they don't really understand. Like, my husband was there, but I feel like he didn't really understand, because I think for men it becomes real when they can hear the baby, the heartbeat, they can feel the kid, they can see the growing belly. But I knew it was real to him, but I think for us women, as soon as we find out that we're pregnant, it's real to us, you know, because our bodies go through changes instantly, you know. And I was just like, how do I make myself feel better? You know, what do I do? Because I never got to see a real ultrasound. I never got to really hear a heartbeat. I never had something to take as a keepsakes for my babies. And I'm like, only thing I do have is pregnancy tests. The thousands and thousands and thousands of pregnancy tests that I took. And so I finally, I was like, let's see here. So I entitled it A Mother's Love. I entitled it A Mother's Love. And I wrote, to my babies, a mother's unending love. To my darling precious baby, my heart feels incomplete, knowing you were inside of me and we never got the chance to meet. From that moment I peed on the stick, I was excited that it's me that you picked. Seeing that bold positive made me so inquisitive. I screamed with so much joy, wondering, could you be a boy or a girl? But suddenly I didn't care, while rubbing my stomach, whispering, you grow strong in there. I instantly went to mommy mode because my love for you overflowed. As I laid in bed thinking, oh my, this is only the beginning. As my body went through changes, I look forward to all the pregnancy stages. From fatigue to food cravings, yes, even morning sickness, knowing that 9 months will go by with the quickness. Keeping my mind and body healthy, from prenatal to eating right, to ensure you are not unhealthy. Due to complications that require examinations, scared out of my mind, hoping you are okay. With my mind in so much disarray, I finally got to see you on the ultrasound. The perfect little picture, oh so profound. You in the tiny little sack with your flickering little heart. I just said a little prayer. Please, Jehovah, never let us part. That first sight of you, I will always remember. Hurry up and come, the 12th day of September. When I hold you in my arms, never bringing you any harm, with a promise to protect you, that I'll always follow through. I promise to raise you right, no matter how hard the fight, because even on the darkest night, my love for you always shines so bright. Who would have known that 9 weeks later, just when I thought things were getting better, that my very heart, that my very heart and world was shattered. With hearing those mere words, no more growth, no, your heart has stopped. She said, I cry in agony, my body, how could you betray me? What was I to do? Imagine a world without you? I just don't understand. How am I supposed to carry through? This has to be a dream. Please pinch me, please pinch me. She said it was a miscarriage when all I wanted to do was buy a baby carriage. I carried you for 2 more weeks, so depressed I could not speak. I just cried and cried, hoping their doctors had lied. The third day of March I soon would dread, because my body is where I shed. The physical pain, oh my, but when I seen with my own 2 eyes, in the sack where your body lie, I cried, oh no, this can't be goodbye, when all I wanted to say was hi. Please tell, why did my baby have to die? How can I ever get on an emotional high? Just give it time is what they imply. Just turn to Jehovah, on him you must rely. To my darling little maverick, or precious Ansley, forever you will always be a big part of me. In Jehovah's memory where you stay, a future resurrection in my head is what I replay. The chance to finally meet you is finally overdue. My love for you overgrew, in which I never withdrew. With a heart so complete, cause in paradise is where you and I will retreat. A mother's love is oh so pure, on that I know for sure. I think of you constantly, these words I speak so honestly. I love you with my everything, but do you know one scary thing? 7 months later, I would go through this trying thing of losing another baby while such a deadly thing. Once again, how can I bear this awful thing? A heart so hurt and filled with rage, I want to destroy everything. I pray and I cry to Jehovah, the hearer of everything. Please give me the strength to endure. My babies die so premature. To my babies, I assure, I love you both with all my heart, knowing we will be together again, and that would be just the start. So I wrote this, and it was like a keepsake. So it's something I can always have that, you know, for me, my babies, and I'm hoping that one day in the resurrection that I can read this to them, you know. So that was that. And so for a year we didn't no pregnancy or anything like that. And then 3 months ago, March of this year, I found out I was pregnant again. because I know my body, you know, like with my cycles, everything like that. So I was at work, my cycle about to come on, cramp a little bit. But when I got home, so let me just take a test. You know, I took it and I saw a faint line, and I was like, oh, okay, this can't. Okay, let me check. I'm gonna do another one, and it was a faint line, and I was like, oh wait, it's two of them, and then I did the end of them, do it again, another faint line. And I was like, yes, I was so happy. And at the time, my mom was visiting me, so I went in the room, and I was like, what do you see? What is this? Do you see a line? And she's like, yes. I was like, is that a line? She's like, yes. Oh my God, it's a line. So happy. She was happy. And then I was so happy. And then instantly I just stopped and I said, please, Jehovah, please let my baby be strong. Please be healthy. I'm rubbing my stomach, please be healthy. Please go to 9 months. Please be healthy. Please go to 9 months. I'm so, you know. And it's because I went to I was happy, but instant worry, you know. And my mom's like, it's gonna be good. This is it. You're gonna be good. This is it. It's gonna be good. This is it. So we're both excited. So then I went in the room and showed my husband. My husband, he's so down to earth and chill. He was like, okay. Just like, okay. But I'm excited, like, oh. So instantly I'm like, oh, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, I gotta do this. I went to the store the next day, got the prenatals with the DHA, like extra. Like, I was like, I gotta make sure that I'm good. Because my baby gotta be good. And then maybe 4 or 5 days later, start spotting again. So once again, I'm a nervous wreck. I'm like, no, this can't be happening again. No, this can't be happening again. Why? So I had made an appointment with I went to emergency room because I was spotted. I went and they said, we don't see the sac. Once again, you're very early. Because at the time, I think I had just found out. So I didn't even get my time. I didn't get my period to be a week late. So I probably at the time was maybe 4 or 5 weeks. Just hit 5 weeks. They said, and usually you don't see nothing until maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. So don't worry, you know, and implication spotting is normal in early pregnancy. I was like, okay, cool. So I instantly made an appointment with my OB. Went to her, they confirmed pregnancy, I was pregnant and all that. My HCG levels they were kind of normal, but it was still early. So she said, we're gonna wait and we're gonna retest you in 2 weeks to see how they're doing as far as rising. I told her I had went to the OR and they told me to call her ASAP. So I went to her and she said, we're just gonna wait because you're still kind of early. So I did that. And in the midst of that, I started bleeding more. So I went back to the emergency room. No, prior to that, I went back, the week had passed. I went back to OB. They tested again for my HCG, my levels, but you had to wait like 24 hours before they get the results come back. But in the midst of that, I went to the ER, and that was pain, and I was, you know, the spotting was getting heavier. They did ultrasounds and everything like that. They did see something on my left. I think it was my right ovary. Because of the second pregnancy, it was ectopic, it ruptured. They had to take out one of my tubes. So they did see something on the right. They said, and they didn't know if it was a cyst or if it was the baby implanted, because they didn't see nothing implanted the sac in my uterus. So they wasn't sure what they seen on my right ovary was a cyst or if it was the baby. So they didn't know if it was ectopic or just a cyst. I'm praying once again, maybe it's just a cyst, you know. So it was a waiting game, and they finally got the surgeon for the OB surgeon come in. She talked to me. She said, okay, so your levels are dropping, which means it's not a viable pregnancy because your HCG levels are going down. There's 2 things we can do. We can send you home and let it just shed naturally. But the only thing is, because when we see your ovary, we don't know if that is the actual sac of the baby or if that's a cyst. We don't want to take the chances of it rupturing and you lose both tubes. You already don't have one. We don't want the chance of you losing both tubes and your chance of becoming a mom is slim to none. You have to go to IVF, all this stuff in the future. So what we can do is we can give you a shot where it basically helps to shed the cells and all that thing, so just to basically secure your tube. So my husband and I talked about it, and we both decided that it'd be best, since the levels had dropped so much and it wasn't a viable pregnancy, it's best to just take the shot. That way, I don't have the chances of my tube rupturing and I'm losing both tubes, because I know that'd be detrimental to me, because it's like, dang, it's really done with. No. So when my husband came to that conclusion, it was tough. It was hard. And so they did that, and then sent me home. It was like a strict diet. You can eat certain things. You can be out in the sun, because what they gave you is it's like a small form of chemo. So you can do a lot of things. So I was in bed for like the whole week. During the second loss, I told my husband, I need something, so we got a little dog, Sassy. And let me tell you, Sassy stayed with me the whole time. She never left my side. She stayed on my stomach. She never left my side. And I was like so grateful for her, because she did help me, because she was just there, And it kind of part of the shedding. Oh, so much pain, so much pain. Once again, going through all these pain, contractions and all that. It's like horrible pain. So much pain. I'm just crying. And then finally one day I couldn't take no more. We went back to the emergency room, and they had to give me like morphine, so much morphine, just to help with the pain. It was just so much pain. And that was my biggest thing, because it's like I keep going through all this pain, everything I've been fighting, and I keep losing my babies, So a lot goes through your mind, because you're like, is something I did? Is it like payback for mistakes I made in the past? And I know that's not how Jehovah thinks. I know that, but your mind, you start thinking crazy stuff. And I'm like, I want to be a mom so bad, and I don't understand why it's not happening for me. I just don't understand it, So that was March. Here we are, August. So that was the last one that's still fairly new. It's still a lot of pain there. With this last one, my husband was determined, you're going to see a doctor. You need to see a psychiatrist. So I started going to therapy, and that helped out. I need to go start going back again. But I went to her for a few weeks, and it was happening to just get it out there. To talk to my feelings, how am I feeling, how I'm doing, so I'm not completely healed yet. It's a process. I still go to the stores and I cry. If I go to the baby aisle, I still have some of my pregnancy tests. So when I see those, I cry. So I do have my days where I'm okay. I have my days I'm not okay, And it's a constant struggle, because to want something so bad, and it just seems like it's not happening for you. But I have faith, that it will happen one of these days, that I will get my blessing, If it's twins, that'd be great. But my husband would die, so no. But I just have faith that it will happen.